Hey there. I would like to talk about Town Star. I would like to show how you can build a winery. And by build a winery, I don't mean just going to the farm tab and going down and selecting winery. What I mean is the whole process of creating wine and running multiple wineries, actually. So basically, if you followed along with my tutorials on how to get started on the desert map, basically the only thing that I didn't cover is you want to be next to a mountain. Okay, and right here I have over engineered the gasoline production. I'm able to do two um, sets of gasoline if I need to. I could do petroleum and gas and petroleum and gas. Right now I only have one running. That's all I need. I wasn't sure with the grapes if I would need more. I can remove those if I want to, but right now I don't want to. So maybe later if I need that space and I'm doing good on gasoline, then I could do that. So what you end up doing is you grow grapes and you can plant as many grapes as you would like, and the mountain is shade. So the first 5 rows over here, you're probably not going to want to try to use to grow grapes. But if you wanted to fill up, half the map, that would be okay. But you can do it where you grow enough grapes that you make a whole lot of money and then you remove them and build out your town. But what I've been doing is I've been growing grapes and I've also been building out as I go. So right now I'm going to need to continue in order to make wine. I'm going to need to continue to make grapes. I don't know if I'll keep this many, but right now I will, and if I need to scale them back, I'll probably, since I'm going to want to keep a clear growth path over here, I'll probably scale them back this way. However, I'm thinking that I'm most likely going to need more water facilities for the mines. As you see right now, I have two. One of them I'm not running it in all the time. I turn it off and on. But if I get a lot more mines, then I'll need more water facilities. In this area right here, if I could put one here without a problem. It just needs 3 water. It's got 2 from this, and actually that one gets 1 from this one. It would be 1, 2 over, and also it gets 1 from this one. So really, let's see, 1, 2 over, and it even gets 1 from there. So that spot's probably not a problem. I could use this spot. It gets 1 from this one and 2 from this one, and I could put like a piece of a road here, and then I could use this spot and this spot, and and if I need more spots, I could probably do that where it's one from this and two from that. But I'm not really that concerned about it, except for when I start scaling my grapes back, if I do, then I need to be cognizant of the fact that I most likely will have to add water facilities somewhere. Now I could probably redo this area and put a couple more over here, but I'm not necessarily wanting to do that right now, but that's something to keep in mind. Okay, and so I've got mines, and to me, if you're doing this, you want to have at least 3 mines, and the reason is you want at least one doing iron, because you're going to need iron for the oak barrels, and you're going to need one or you're going to want one doing chromium and one doing limestone, and it doesn't matter which ones you set to what. But and then you would also need a sand mine that can create silica, because bottles require silica, chromium, and limestone, and then like I said, the oak barrels require iron. So you're going to want all of those going, and probably if you're going to have any decent production of wine, I would say a minimum of 2 or 3 of each one. So I'll get to that as we go. I just wanted to show you, instead of showing you a finished product in game town, I'm trying to show you a little bit as I go. This over here, that's the only 2 farmers that I have, or tractors. I've got a lot of just regular farmers right now. I'm going to change those out as I have money for that. And right now, to make money, I'm selling the iron and I'm selling grapes. So iron sells for $46,000 for 10. So it sells for about 18 more thousand than the grapes do. So, but it's harder to make. So, there is a difference in that. But I just wanted to show you in the beginning stages what we've got going. You need to grow grapes. You need to have trees so that you can do the lumber production. Right now I have 3 lumber mills running, and I only have 3 mines going, so that tells you that these mines take up a lot of resources. So this is the start of it, and I'll come back and show you when I get further along with the build, but at least I think you can kind of picture where we're going with this. Alright, I'm back. As you can see, I've done a little adding to the town. Sorry about that. My script is trying to sell iron, which is not. I need to stop it from running. Okay, so what I've done is I have built a steel mill so that I can make some steel, and I'm thinking that probably I'm going to want a nuclear power plant. So it takes 10 iron, 5 energy, and 5 water to make steel. And I have placed it, I don't know if you can see very well, but I've placed it over here where I had that refinery, that other one, that secondary one for gasoline. That way it gets 2 water drums automatically, and I think it'll be fine there. I was thinking initially that I was going to put it here, because I have forgotten it can't be diagonal, although diagonal water pumps count for a steel mill. It has to be at least one of the water pumps where you place it has to be on the flat side of it. So I put it over here. I wasn't using that other refinery anyway. So that's where I am. Not a lot of progress. I've gotten about 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tractors going. I'm going to scale this back. I didn't intend to make grapes out to here. I think I said in the video I was going to leave them just this bottom row, but it was taking too long to earn money, and so I've done that, and I have been adding loggers. Right now I've got 8, 9 loggers, and according to Keeping Up with the Wood, and it's difficult, like sometimes you have to stop. Like right now I've got 3 lumber mills running, and I'm starting to run a little low on wood. So what I'll do is I'll stop this one, and this is very hands-on. I like to get things where they're not hands-on, but sometimes you just have to observe what's happening so that you can figure out how you're gonna make it a better situation. And with the water, I had a couple of warehouses on the side. The one that was over here, I filled it in with a wood lumber yard. But the ones on the side the guys were finding it convenient from the water facilities to fill it up with water, and then these guys were having to come around or wiggle around to get into it. So I just deleted the 2 side warehouses, and now I've got 4 on the main drag, and that makes it easier. I'm thinking that I'm probably going to need to add some more lumber mills, and what I could do is make 3 of them across there, and have a road right here, but I need to connect this road, if I do that, to this other one, or maybe I just remove one of these lumber yards and make it go across there. That's probably the better idea. Sometimes you just have to think through what you're doing, and me talking about it just now really was all I needed to help me make a decision about what to do. So I've got to relocate these guys, but like I say, this top row of grapes can go away, so I can continue my build out and it won't be a problem. I'm gonna have I've got to have a sand mine, at least one, and a glass factory, at least one, and one of my lumber mills needs to be making barrels. And what other things have I been thinking about? Um, well, anyway, I'm just thinking things through. I don't really need to have to go through all that right now. So you understand the changes that I made, what I'm doing. This steel mill and everything is not necessary. But that's just something that I want to do. I'll probably change this power plant out with a nuclear power plant, and that will allow me to, that would have 4 energy and that would have 3. So both of those, I could have mines in both of those spots, whereas with the way it is now, I'd have to put another power plant over here in order to accomplish that, and I don't want to do that. So probably I'll save up and do that. And usually if I do this method, what I do is, the steel mill costs like 2 million, but it sells for 1.5 million. So it's really costing you 500,000, because what I do is I make as much steel as I think that I want and hopefully you don't get it put in a warehouse that might eventually need to be moved. But anyway, you'll see. I'm most likely going to be removing the steel mill as well. So that's where I am on my build. Not much further. I just kind of let it run overnight and build up some cash on it, and I'll be back with when I've got something else to show you with it. Okay, I really haven't gotten anywhere except for, we do have 10 steel now, and it is stored in the warehouses. It's probably a little spread out, but basically I can remove my steel mill. And the reason why I did 10 instead of 5, it takes 5 to make a nuclear power plant. What I'm thinking is, if I put one here, then I can remove this one as well, because it will go 4, 3, 2, and this one gives that one that gets 2, it gives it 1. Okay, and so then it gives this one 1. Wait 1 second, sorry, my script is still running. It gives this one 1, and this would give it 2. Then this one gets 2 from this guy, and it gets 1 from this guy. Okay, so that covers all of them. Plus the nuclear power plant will give this one 4. Sorry about that, I'm still selling iron right now as well. Okay, plus this one, the nuclear power plant will give this one 4 and this one 3. So that will take care of that. As far as my gas goes, right now I'm getting 3 from that one, 2 from that one, and 1 from that one. but if I put a nuclear power plant here, it'll go 4, 3. So it'll be 3 from the nuclear and 3 from this one. So this one will become obsolete. So if I put a nuclear power plant here, I'll be removing that one as well. The other thing, once I save up for another nuclear power plant, this will be way future expansion. I can put one right here. Now, keep in mind, I will have to delete this and make a pond, a pump in the nuclear power plant, but I'm sure that I'll be okay with that. I'm going to utilize this area to keep expanding my buildings as needed. And so if I put one here, then this would be 4, 3. That one would be 4. This would be 4, 3, and this would be 2, and then 1 for that one. And that would be plenty to complete the row as far as giving power, enough power, 3 power to every mine on that side. So I hope that wasn't too elementary or boring. What I've done now is I still am trying to push forward in my build. Okay, so I wanted to let you know that I stopped making steel at 10. I'm going to remove my steel mill because I don't anticipate needing it. And if I do though, I can bring it back at a rate of at a net cost of 500,000. That would be quite pricey to bring it back, but if I needed to, I could. So it's not the end of the world if you deleted it and then you decided you wanted to put a nuclear power plant in the middle and get rid of some more of the power plants. But I'm not anticipating wanting to do that. Nuclear power plants are 10 million, so they're quite pricey. And like later in the game, money is not really an object, and if that becomes the case, I can bring back a steel mill and make more steel. I don't want to make a ton of steel and have it taking up room in my warehouse space. So what I want to do now, I built a lumber mill here. I can build one right here, at this guy, and if worst case, if I need to, I can build one here and build one here. And this one, I'll just pave that. I'll probably go ahead and pave that part of the road. So if I need to, I can build here and here, and it being a dirt road and the rest of it being paved will remind me if I need more. So at the point I am, I have expansion room for 4 more lumber mills. However, the real point of what I'm wanting to do is I want to take this area. I hate to take grapes when they're about to bloom. Those two are about to bloom, but I can show you with this one, and I'll just wait on the others. It's too long to keep the video rolling. I'm trying to make this as short as possible. But right here, I have, well, first of all, I don't know if I showed, but I created more tree space because we are going to continue to need wood, and I need to add more loggers. And the problem with, or it's not a problem, the deal, and they are so cute with their little chainsaws, if you ask me, but when you add too many loggers for the amount of trees that you have growing, they will try to go home and go to sleep. So if they're going home and going to sleep, then it's wasting time. So basically you want to maximize it. So if you get to a point where it's like you've added so many loggers that one of them keeps trying to go start heading home, and then he comes back. At that point you've added probably one too many, and you just need to either delete one or add a couple more trees. So that's kind of the way I gauge it sometimes, is I'll keep adding them until I'll sit and just watch them, and when they stop being efficient, when one of them's trying to wander off and go back home, that's when I know I've put one too many, and I just delete one. So that's part of the thing I was talking about in tuning, but nonetheless I got sidetracked, sorry about that. Okay, so what we're looking to do is put some oak trees in the mix here, and I realized that I've still got a few lumberjacks, and I do that until I can get as many loggers in place and kind of tune it. The lumberjacks are so much quicker to add and delete, and they are a lot cheaper too. So that's a way that you can stretch your guys while you're adding, is to just add some lumberjacks, and they will not be as fast as loggers, but it's a body, and they're doing what you need them to do. So that's always an option. And if you're just building out, a lot of times you don't have the money, and what you will find with the tuning the water, I don't know if you noticed that I keep coming over and turning these on and off. What happens is the mines use lumber and they use water. I'm taking care of the electricity, so we don't have to wait for that. We don't have to worry about electricity filling up our warehouse. However, I'm sorry, let me turn this guy on to make barrels. Now, the barrels will go in the warehouse, and if it looks like I need to, I can add some warehouses, and even if I do some, I can do temporary ones if need be, because I just had talked about, well, here I'm going to potentially do a nuclear power plant, so I kind of don't want to put one there, but if I do, it's only $10K to build a new warehouse, and deleting a warehouse, you get back $2,500 of that initial investment. So net cost is $7,500, and at this point where you've got millions, it's not significant. So what I'm doing here is I am making the barrels, and certainly I don't need barrels at this point, but that I can kind of get a feel for how quickly I can make them, and that will kind of help me gauge what I need to do. It's like, am I going to need one lumber mill making oak barrels, or am I going to need 2 or 10, or just how many will I need? And that will help me with my build out. And so right now, what I will end up doing, most likely, some things you don't want to sell, but most likely because I don't want an overwhelming presence in my warehouses, I will most likely go ahead and be selling the barrels. But I can kind of get a feel for, how long does it take me to make 10 barrels? And that will help me gauge when I get ready to make the wine. It can help me because you've got a big process that you're bringing together. You've got the bottles, you've got the barrels, you've got the grapes, and so you've got really those are the 3 things. But if you kind of build up to them, it's like I'm growing grapes now, so grapes are not an issue. I might have to scale back the area, and if I have too many grapes, certainly I can continue to sell them. So that's not an issue. But see, with the barrels, we've already got 1. So that's pretty awesome right there. And sorry about that, my script. That's one thing that you will find. Scripts are a mixed bag. They're a blessing in one regard and a curse in another, because you'll be right in the middle of clicking on something like trying to stop the steel mill, for example, and then your script will kick off and you're like, it seems like so much longer than it really is when that screen comes up to sell, because you're wanting to stop production on something before they waste the materials or whatever. Some things are not as critical as others. But if you notice, another thing is I've got plans that I can utilize this position and this position, or maybe even this position, for oak. So if I need to, I can put trees here, and I could put trees here, and I could just put the oak right here and here, depending on how many I need. But like I say, you can kind of get a feel for it. Just turn it on and let it start making. I'm obviously got plenty of iron right now, but is it going to take, how many iron will it take? How many oak trees do I need planted? And that kind of thing. It's just a matter sometimes of manpower even. I need to go ahead and add a couple more loggers. And I kind of hate to add loggers, because I'm wanting to save up for the nuclear power plant. But sometimes it's better to go ahead and spend money, like it's better to spend money expanding your grapes, knowing that you're going to be getting the money back. And so that it pays for itself in some cases, not in all cases, but you'll get the feel of it. I just want you to not feel overwhelmed with the process. It's like I say, if you do it in parts and you just add, something and just kind of monitor it, it's a lot easier than having to juggle 10 things at once. For example, if you're deciding, okay, I'm going to put some glass factories in here and start making the bottles, and I'm going to and it's probably not a bad idea at this point to put one and see how it does, but then that means that I have to also change these guys and also put a sand mine. So what I might do is go ahead and put a sand mine and a warehouse beside it and a worker beside that, and maybe do it down here. But the thing of it is, right now, I need to put a sand mine. It might be good to put one right there. I need to put it where it gets to electricity. So that's something to consider as well. I think I will, for right now, put it there. Again, a sand mine is only 45K, but I'm going to have to add a forklift. And so there's potential to put it wherever. I could put one right here, and be fine. So that's probably what I'll do, is go ahead and do the sand mine and get it going, and make sure that I'm not flooding my warehouse space with silica. I think they made a change to the length of time that it takes to create silica, so I don't think I'm in danger of flooding the warehouse. In fact, I might end up needing 2 sand mines, but or maybe right now I'll just put them across the street from this guy. Let's see, this one would be, this would get 2 from each one. Then this one would get 2 from this one and 1 from this one. So both of those would get 3. Now this would get 2. So I could put it here. This would only get 1. So possibly put 1, if I need 2, put 1 here as well, which is what I initially had thought about, another area for a lumber mill, but I don't think I'm going to need more than 3 more. I'm doing good to keep up with the wood for 3. I have to turn this one off, so I'm still working that out. So like I say, there's quite a few different parts to the puzzle that you have to figure out, but that's where I am right now. I'm most likely going to go ahead and put a forklift here, and I might ought to put it right next to the sand mine, actually, just to be faster about it. I think I will. I'll put it right here for now. And again, you know, those are not that terribly expensive. So, okay, they changed the sand mine to be 35 seconds instead of 20. That was part of the silica nerf that they did. I don't know if anybody saw my videos on how to make 72K points an hour, but that's, you doing silica was the way, and so they significantly nerfed silica in many ways. So that's where we are. Basically, I'm going to be looking at putting in a I'll just go ahead and stop this guy right here and make him do chromium, and I'll stop him when he's done crafting. You don't want to get, what I looked for when I changed this one, I looked and he did not have anything except energy populated. Therefore, I wasn't really wasting any materials. And so this one's going to be limestone and this one's going to be chromium. See, it's making chromium and this one is making limestone. Mining, they're mining. And so that's where I am. That's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to put a forklift driver here, and you will see with the glass, I'll come back and show you, but it takes 1 chromium, 1 limestone, and I believe 3 silica, which even at 35 seconds, it shouldn't be a problem to use silica as it was intended. So that's where we are. I'm going to make a forklift, and over here I'm going to wait till the forklift is done so that I can actually begin collecting. But I'm going to make a glass factory right here, and since we're already mining the iron, that's not very costly. And sometimes if you're running a script, now it's like we're stuck. If you notice, our little X is gone. So what you can do is you have to click on a spot. So I've got a spot on the ground. You can just go over to the farm tab and click wheat, and then if you don't click on anything, you can just hit cancel there and get your money back. You can do that with anything, but I usually just do it with something insignificant in case I mess up. It doesn't really cost me, a couple hundred or less than $100, I think. Okay, so that's where we are. I didn't mean to take that long with this explanation, but you can see now we're starting to transition. We've got 3 barrels, so we are not going very quickly with that, and so I will monitor it. I haven't been paying attention to it. Is oak the holdup? If so, certainly I can add 1 or 2 more oak trees and get that rolling. So I'll be back. Okay, I am back. So let's go over the things that I did while I was gone. I had talked about these. I've run myself out of wood. I've talked about these places over here where I could add more lumber mills. I want to call them sawmills for some reason, but lumber mills. And so what I have done is I showed you I was doing the one for the oak barrels. So right now I've got 2 of them on oak barrels, and I've got 3 oak tree plants planted, and I've only got let me see how many. I've only got 2 of my mines doing iron, and they are keeping up with these 2 sawmills. And so I'm actually I need to sell some barrels right now because I have too many. Okay, so, and another thing, I could put some of those I'll explain what I did, but let's see. Iron, limestone, and chromium all sell for the same price. In my opinion, chromium and limestone should sell for a little more because they take a little longer to process, but it is what it is. They don't, and that's fine. So what I've done to try to match the speed of my oak barrels is I have 3 of the glass factories, and also I was having extra silica, and so now it seems like I'm going crazy with the limestone and chromium, but not good enough with the silica. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just go ahead and create another sand mine so we can get those cranking. What I've thought about and kind of thought as I was doing this is that these wine bottles sell for like 128K. I don't know if you noticed that or 122K, sorry about that. 122K. And so in trying to collect money, that's going to be actually a pretty good thing. If we can get those cranking out, we can actually build up our savings a lot better. Now, I know that I said that I was trying to save up and replace this with a nuclear power plant, and that is still my plan. However, right now we're doing pretty well with what we have here as far as our production that we've got. So what I would like to do is go ahead and build maybe 2 wineries, maybe one here and one here, and then potentially my next one right here, and then we can actually, I forget how much you get for wine, but I think it's a pretty substantial amount. So I want to go ahead and I'm going to build 2 wineries right now to start with. And I think that I've worked with the oak barrel production and the glass production, and like I say, I believe that adding this sand mine is going to get the production up. The grapes, I've got plenty of grapes, so that should not be a hold up in my production line. So and I did redo this. I had this area a little bit sloppy and funky, and I redid it so that I could fit 2 water towers as opposed to just having one in the middle. And I think you guys already saw what I did over here. So everything seems to be going pretty well so far, but just wanted to let you know what I'm doing. I am building. I don't want to just all of a sudden pop on the screen and have 1,000 things for you to try to look at and remember. So right now we are transitioning to making wine. Once these wineries are finished, you can't just, they're not like the glass factory or something. They're more like the um, lumber mill, where you have to say, what do you want to make? A lumber mill doesn't just start automatically. The winery is the same way. It gives you the three choices: Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, or Cabernet. And so we will, of course, choose Pinot Noir because that's the grapes that we grew. So I will be back, but right now, just want to let you know, I'm going to be doing the I'm going to go ahead and transition and start making wine, because I think that will be our most lucrative product at this point, and we've reached the point where it's the next logical step. We've got the bottles, we've got the the kegs, the barrels, and we've got the grapes. That's all you need to make wine. So I'll be back. All right, folks, I am back for a minute, and I did go ahead and make 3 wineries. And so if you notice, you have the option, you can tell it which one. I told you before that you can decide which kind of wine you want to make. Of course, you're going to choose the one that you grew grapes for. One thing that it's sort of embarrassing to say, the first winery created the first wine, and I was not prepared. I didn't have my storehouse. I thought of it just a few minutes or a little bit before, but not enough time to get these slow builders. I even dropped a couple more builders in just to try to get it done, but I didn't get it done. So the first bottle went to the universe, but that's okay. Maybe that's good luck. So just wanted you to see that the wineries are in place, making the wine. I've got I'm collecting it now, not just making it, and it looks like that the wine will sell for about $465,000. So it should be pretty obvious that once we get it cranking out, we will be better off. I changed my script to not, for some reason the X doesn't work on this, but I changed my script, I thought, to not sell grapes every time I have 10. So if you go down to Pinot Noir grapes, if you change that from 0 to 5, then it will sell grapes when you reach like 15, and that should be fine for what we're doing here. So just wanted to give you an update. I'll be back. Thanks. Okay, here we are back again. Basically what I have done is grown impatient, and I added 3 more wineries. I am wanting to take a break for a while, so I went ahead and added 3 more, so we've got 6 wineries going. So that should be, I think it takes them like 5 minutes to process wine, and then well, it doesn't say, it shows how much left, but I think it's about 5 or 6 minutes to process the wine, and then to load up the grapes and whatnot is probably another 3 minutes, or 2 or 3 minutes. So about every 20 minutes, I would say I should be selling wine. And I looked at the numbers on the first sale, and I got 7,680 points. And we had already looked at the price that we get. I don't know if you recall it, but we get $465,700 when we sell it, and we get 7,680 star points over here. So this should be interesting. I'm just going to let it go and try and generate some money to get back to my 10 million that I originally was trying to get to and to hold on to, so that we could get the nuclear power plant. So I'll come back when I have enough for the nuclear power plant, and we'll look at that. So I'll be back. I want you to see these little guys will come out here and pick the grapes. If we're out of grapes in they'll come out and pick their own. But that I'd rather the farmers do it because they're faster. But if they're out, sometimes it's not a horrible thing. Okay, so now we have over $10 million on the account. So I am ready to replace this power plant with a nuclear power plant. Now, recall that I had said before, I need to actually turn these off so that I won't use up my iron just temporarily, because it takes 5 steel and 5 iron, I believe. And so the thing that you want to be cautious of is when you have, if you just have 10 million, if you're like gung-ho, I want to get this thing built, and you just get the 10 million, you might be in trouble if you just jump on it. You need to get a little bit of a buffer so that you have running money. And the running money for the I'm going to remove this. I hope I'm ready. If not, it's no problem to build it right back. Okay, so the running money for a nuclear power plant, where is that joker at, is $2,000 a minute. So that adds up quickly. Now we're going to need 5 iron and 5 steel to build it. And I just happened to go over the steel earlier in the video, and I made sure that I had 5 iron. Right now I actually have 6. So we're ready to go. See, we're down to 171,000. It should be, actually we've got more than that if we click on these trucks over here. Now that's a little better. We sold wine, so we've got 600 and something thousand now. All right, so this should be a pretty quick thing. I'm looking for the energy. Maybe they're just grabbing it as quick as it gets made. All right, so we've got enough iron. So I want to go ahead and turn these guys back on to make my barrels. And another thing that you would want to consider is that, okay, there it is. Let's turn this off. Now we can build a mine right here and right here. So what you want to consider is, though, before you just start throwing mines out there, is, okay, it's looking like I'm not running low on chromium and potentially limestone, but maybe I am on limestone and I need to change one of these chromium mines to do limestone. So no, we got 5 limestone. So basically I could say, well, I've got plenty of bottles too, and I've got plenty of barrels. So what is it that's holding me back? Really, if I wanted to maybe put 3 more wineries here, I could probably sustain that. And so that's kind of what, at this point in the game, you want to look at. It's like, am I low on bottles? If so, can I just add another glass factory? If not, do I need to add some more mines so that I can add a glass factory? And just do that type of analysis. And you would say, you might look at it and say, well, I'm just going to cookie cutter and do exactly what you've got there. That looks good to me. But believe it or not, the towns don't always work exactly the same, and you think it's set up the same, but it doesn't work that way. So it's just important that you understand that the tweaking is just going to be just that. You're going to look at it and you might say, well, you know what? I could use one more iron mine. So then maybe just add 1 mine and create another iron mine. Or maybe you look at it and you say, well, I've got so much chromium and limestone, let me just take one of these chromium mines and make it iron. Whatever you feel like. But you got to realize, the more mines you add, the more the lumber situation gets out of hand. I've got right now 4 lumber mills doing lumber, and also you have to keep up the wood for the grapes. So there's that to consider also. I think really this is more than enough mines, and probably I could, if I wanted to, I could probably shut a couple of them down. Like, we do have a lot of chromium and limestone, and we're not having trouble keeping up with the bottles. I could potentially put 1 more bottle factory and put it wherever, put it at the road or back in that area and let them crawl through. But I could do 1 more of those, and then it would probably keep up exactly with the barrels, and then maybe I could add 2 more wineries and everything be pretty perfect. So that's kind of what I'm thinking would work well in this situation. But experiment with it. Create a town that does wine and see what you can do. I think you could probably do better than this. I'm not the best at this because it takes so much tweaking and I can be a little impatient. But I hope this was informative and helpful. And if it was, like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.